Hello and welcome to this edition of the Diaspora Central. I am Ingles, and with me in the studio today, ladies and gentlemen, yes, from Houston, Texas, this young man is definitely making sure that the airwaves get to listen or get to check some of his content. Producer, musician, Toni Frio is in the building. Diaspora, stand up.
Let's go.
Houston is in the building. Toni Frio, welcome to Diaspora Central, man.
Hey, that introduction, man. That introduction had me hyped.
Oh, yeah? Come on now.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah?
sir. Thank you for having me.
Always, man. Always. That's what we're here for.
Yes, sir.
If we don't do it for each other, who will?
That's a good point.
Indeed.
We got to stick together, man.
Indeed.
Stick together.
It's all about building community. It's all about ensuring that we're building each other, because that's the only way that we can move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you are born and raised in Houston, Texas?
So I wasn't.
Okay.
So I claim Texas personally, and more so Dallas, because I lived there majority of my life.
Okay.
But my dad, he was in the military and he was in sales. He has a sales background, so we moved around all over the place. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Only lived there for 2 years.
Got
so
you.
I don't really, I don't really have that much like history with Phoenix.
Yeah.
But from there, moved to Texas, moved to Dallas.
Okay.
Lived there majority of my life. Moved
Got
to
you.
New Jersey from Dallas.
Oh, okay. So
we went up to New York, did the whole experience there.
Yeah.
And then moved to Atlanta. And then from Atlanta, I went to school, University of Alabama. Went there for the 4
Okay.
years. Played basketball.
Okay.
For a year there.
Oh, you can ball also.
I can hoop. I can hoop. And then I made my first move to Houston.
Yeah.
So I've lived out here for 4 years. My anniversary for the 4th year anniversary was actually a few days ago.
Got you.
My dad actually went to U of H, and he was always telling me about Houston, so I wanted to check it out myself.
So you are a military brat.
A military brat, man, I guess.
What branch was your father in?
He was a ranger in the Army.
Okay, right. Thank you for his service, man.
Hey, well, thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, what about moms?
So mom, she's actually from Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And she actually met my dad in Tulsa.
Okay.
So that's where everything happened there. They met. And hey, I popped up.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to Tulsa. I've been to Tulsa. There's a lot of schools out there. That's at least the area that I stayed in primarily. There are a lot of schools, a lot of students in that area. So I went to Tulsa for a couple of weekends just to party.
Yeah, that's actually what happened.
Right.
My dad actually, I think he said his job brought him out to Tulsa for a little bit, and he was saying, most people don't want to take jobs in Tulsa and stuff like that. And I think during the time he was young in his career, he took the job, and look what happened after.
Indeed.
He did, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's crazy if you think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't even like trying to live in Tulsa like that.
Yeah.
And then so happened to just work out.
Got you. Yeah, but get a little bit closer to the microphone, man. Yeah, come closer to the mic. That's okay, because that way we can get the best quality of audio from you. Yeah.
Sir.
Now, you come from a big family?
I do actually. So I have 2 brothers, and I have a sister.
Okay.
I'm the youngest out of everyone. So.
So you got to learn from everybody else's experiences.
I did. I got to see the good and the bad, honestly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Taking what I like from each thing, and just learning experiences. And they'll tell me straight up, just like, I'm glad you're supposed to be the best out of all of us.
Exactly.
They'll say that. They're like, you can't. The margin of error is very short for me.
Yeah. No, which is good though, because you already have enough intel to know how to move. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what did you major in college?
In college, public relations, and then minor in general business. Okay. So I would say advertisement and marketing and communications was something that pretty much was honestly developed, and I developed a passion for, honestly, just after playing basketball. I had surgery on my knee. Okay. And before that, my identity was just a hooper. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really could do. That's all I really knew how to do. That's the only thing I felt comfortable with. Being with a locker room guy and team. You know how it is. Right,
right. Yeah. It becomes part of you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, how did just to briefly, how did you deal with that? Because, I mean, all of a sudden you have to stop doing this thing that you love and this thing that you think that you're going to do for the rest of your life, right? So you have to kind of make quick decisions. How did you deal with that?
Man, it was tough. It honestly took a lot of growth. The first year, I can remember, it was more so like it was the first time I didn't have to be somewhere besides just like, I guess, classes or things like that. Right. I didn't have that many obligations other than just like, school. So what I did at that time was I try to like figure myself out socially and, go out to different parties and different, movements and scenes. And honestly, it wasn't really a time that I was like really happy at that time because I didn't feel like myself fully. And at that time, finally, I found something more so with podcasting, and we started to get into a radio station at school. And then from there, my roommate, he was a hooper too.
Yeah.
So he was on the basketball team. He stopped playing, and then me and him did the podcasting stuff.
Okay.
And that kind of just fueled my passion for just creativity and content and you know what I'm saying, all this stuff. And then from there, that just kind of led to me producing music just from the same software on Logic Pro X.
Right. Okay. So credit to Logic, huh?
Credit to Logic.
Yeah.
Credit
now, who was your roommate? You didn't mention his name.
Chris. Shout out Chris.
Yeah.
Christian Clark.
Yeah.
Hooper, podcaster, businessman. He lives in DC now, so he's a real deal. Like he's talented in many different ways, and hopefully we can pick up the podcast and radio one day and work more on the communication side. So
now with technology, I mean, you can do it virtually. You know, the DC is home for me, so
exactly. Oh, DC
is home for me, man.
Oh man, hey,
DC area is home for me. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we gotta get him to come out here.
Yeah, I went to Maryland University.
Okay,
all the way
Shout
through.
The
Terrapins. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, out at the time in which you go into school, of course, looks like basketball was a thing for you to be, right? Who was your biggest inspiration around that time, like in person, like in real life, and also just by watching in television?
Man, that's
what
a
were
good
your inspirations?
Question. I would say so. It was like around by the time I graduated, 2014. There was a lot of good players out there. I would say, I mean, Kobe Bryant for sure, like huge part,
right.
Man, huge influence. LeBron, obviously. I would say DeMar DeRozan, like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's one of my favorite players. Kyrie Irving, minus the antics and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite players. Like I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Like this man's dribbling skills are some of the best I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So amongst all these players, like they really gave me influence.
Right.
I would say before that, I would say like the Boston Celtics and Rajon Rondo and all them, because I was like a point guard and shooting guard.
Okay.
So I would try to take both. Like so I would hear I would see like a Kyrie Irving or like a Rajon Rondo at that time.
Yeah.
And then get influence from like a KD or like a Paul George as well, because that's like my game kind of crossed. Kind of crossing that. No, I'm just saying, like, these are the people I gained influence from.
Yeah.
And man, I have to pay.
Yeah.
I have to pay homage to hooping in general, because it's still who I am. I still train people. I still train kids.
Okay.
Kids that are trying to, make it to college or pros. Or still hoop with professionals.
No.
Play pro am leagues right now. So I'm still into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you do that like on through your company, or is there a program that you use to do that? If so, what's the name of the program or the company that you use to do that?
So I really just do it through my company, through Rhodey.
Okay.
Because Rhodey is a conglomerate more so. The Rhodey brand is more so like media, content, events, sports, things like that. Rhodey Collections is the producer trio, which is me, Toni Frio, Jay Garcia, and Not a Word.
Okay.
So that's just kind of to answer your question.
Yeah.
I really just do it word of mouth. So if people just hear that I'm at an event and people are talking about sports and stuff like that, usually would just just come naturally like that.
So, but in other words, though, if there is a kid who thinks that he has the skills and that he needs to improve because he wants to try to get into real balling, right, or hooping, you are one of the men that he can get in touch with.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
sir.
one of the guys that I for sure will help. I'll be just as dedicated as him as I was back in the day, because I want people to surpass where I got.
Got you.
I want people to really know what they're doing, and I want people to make an impact, and hopefully one day when they get to my age, be able to make an impact as well.
Yeah. Now, were there any teachers during your school, and you can start even throughout your elementary, any teachers, schools, or organizations that also played a role in your becoming?
For sure.
Yeah?
For sure.
What were they?
Well, I definitely have to credit to my parents. I mean, they've always been a great support system. No matter what I'm doing, they're there. They're always trying to support.
Right.
Sometimes, they ask me, what do I need and stuff like that, especially back in my development days. Like, they're always there for me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's more so it's like you on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. They raised you right.
They raised me.
Right.
They raised me to be able to hold it down.
Yeah.
And, get through adversity.
Indeed.
Adversity. And then I would say, In general,
Yeah.
I would say a lot of my AAU coaches, Coach Ryan,
Okay.
Coach Artist. I would say my AAU coaches, Coach Stan. Shout out to all my AAU coaches. I actually hooped in high school in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I was with the Georgia Stars, Atlanta Celtics, and those are some of the premier teams in the city.
Right.
So I was able to, climb as high as I could, with that. And so, shout out to everyone who helped push me, because that's kind of what transitions now to music and content is my competitive nature, honestly.
Yeah, it's the work discipline, the ability to focus on a specific thing with a purpose, right? That kind of helps, because once you develop that, you can apply that into anything that you can, that you want to, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and go into our first break and take a look at some of your content. You have any music videos out there that you can showcase?
Yes, sir. But I did actually just get back from LA, and I have a visual right now with a project that I'm actually working on called The Return of the 95 Kid.
Okay.
It's a compilation all produced by me.
Okay.
And I just kind of went around LA, got a little footage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
put that together.
Yeah, we put that together, and then linked up with Deuce Stacks and R Stills in South Central in LA, and this is the product of it. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. And what did you title that?
High Frequency. Don't forget it. Repeat it 100 times.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let's go into this very, very quick high frequency spotlight showcasing Toni Frio, yes, and his collective, the
Rody Collections.
Rody Collections. We'll be right back.
I'm rolling the dice, I'm taking a chance, I'm taking my shot, I'm Kevin Durant, two-step with the devil whenever I dance. I'm sorry, no angel would ever make plans. I'm hoping to reach you wherever you land. The usual, I used to keep answer, but when I'm recurring, I wasn't too grounded. In fact, I was drowning and sinking the more that I swam. I had that pack on demand, don't react like offended it. People put stacks in my hands now, working the way it was planned out. I never wanted to stand out. I'm hoping that man wouldn't stand up. If his son tucked in his man's now, I don't know, wanting a hand now.
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight, and our guest today is Toni Frio, yes, of the
Rody Collections.
Rody Collections is in the building, yes, music collective of producers, brands, you name it, they got it. Sports, training, development, come on.
Tech.
Yeah, tech.
Yep.
Man.
We got coders. We got coders. Me, I'm in project management.
Okay.
So I'm learning more of the lingo right now. I'm definitely learning a lot of stuff. But shout out to Jay Garcia. He's a coder. So any website, anything you need, any drop down, any like addition to anything, he can do that. He can make formulate it out of thin air, essentially.
There you go.
And then Not a Word also. So he actually is an audio engineer. He's an audio engineer, and he's a silver engineer as well.
Okay.
So he can do pretty much just about anything. He has a technology background as well, making robots and all type of stuff.
Yeah, so I have a problem now. How did you show up by yourself and you got all of these buddies around, right?
Yeah.
What's up?
So Jay Garcia, he had to handle something this morning. He couldn't make it here. But Not a Word, he's actually in Atlanta.
Okay.
So Not a Word's in Atlanta. He's a audio engineer and artist and producer as well.
Okay.
But he couldn't make it. So hopefully one day, we can get all three of us together.
Definitely, and that's what I was gonna tell you. And remember that we can also do this remotely, right? Because this is what Diaspora Central is. Diaspora Central is a showcase of diaspora culture and talent. Okay. So in other words, we have to own our narrative. We have to tell our own story if you want our stories told right. We don't need a third party telling our stories for us. And that's awesome. What it's been done for the longest time, right? So this is the opportunity of us to own our stories because it's coming from the people who actually live in them.
That's
right?
Awesome.
So I extend right now my invitation to them. You let them know. Then whenever they're ready, they should come out to Diaspora Central and share their story with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
We would love to. We would
Thank
love
you.
to. I'm already having a blast, so I'm sure they'll catch on and be like, oh, man, we got to get on that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, sir. Appreciate it, sir. Hopefully you guys can probably at some point do something for us live in the show. Maybe after we capture the stories of the other two, we do a show with the three of you guys as a collective just to do something. I don't know. I sometimes get crazy ideas.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're down. I mean, we've been put on the spot multiple times, and we've answered. Like, we'll do live performances.
Right.
You know, we'll do DJ sets. We'll do whatever you want. Jay Garcia is nice with the guitar and instruments. I'm dope with the the DJ and stuff like that, and just kind of do live action. And then not where he can perform, he can do whatever. So
got you.
We're down.
Yeah. Now, are you a lyricist also, or do you write?
I actually write. I help people write.
Okay.
I'm looking to get more into that. Right now, I'm just kind of breaking out of more of the shell with that. I like to, when I'm in the studio, I like artists to do their thing. I don't really like to put too much of my
interject.
You know what I'm saying? Too much of mine, in my opinion. I'll definitely help with like concepts and what I was thinking when I made the beat and like kind of where I think we can go. Right. But overall, like I want to make it as collaborative as possible.
Right. So and this is something that has to do with roles in the studio, right? And it is good that you mentioned that, because a lot of people at times feel sort of threatened in the studio if they are the person who made the beat, and then a producer comes in to produce that beat into a great song, right? Because making the beat's one thing. Turning that beat into a big song is a whole different thing, and that can sometimes entail several other people. It may entail the writer of the song, the person who will actually write the lyrics, or the writers of the song. It may entail the vocal producers, the people who just produce the vocals, right? And then the music producer, the guy who will actually produce the music, the song. And of course, you had the beat maker also, who actually made the concept beat. Exactly. So all of that collective is what actually makes a great song. And then the engineers, of course, the capturing engineer, the recording engineer, the mixing engineer, and then the mastering engineer. All of these people also play a role in making that song a great song. So I'm glad that you don't feel threatened by that, because a lot of people do. Now, once you started, you mentioned that you were messing with Logic, so you Logic allowed you to branch into all these other different things. What were you doing at the time in which that bling idea came up?
That's a good question. I would say I was just on Logic, and I saw the different functions on there, like the different shortcuts and functions, and I was like, wow, you can actually add like loop patterns or beats, or kind of create your own thing on there. Right. So that from there sparked my idea. Like, I already have the software. Right. And I'm already like super interested in music. Yeah. So why don't I just put it together and just try, and just on my my spare time at least try to get better. Yeah. And then I remember friends started coming over, and they freestyle on my beats, like early stages. Like they'll definitely be able to like remember this and back me up on this. How funny it was, just like me out of all people, just like going to pursue that, because like they didn't think like I wasn't really vocal about anything else besides I like music a lot. Everyone knows I like music, but it was more so basketball. So the fact that I actually put myself out there and before, like honestly, I want to say I wasn't really out of my shell when it came to just like being fully myself. I guess I was still trying to figure myself out at that point. I feel like. And so I just kind of just got my show a little bit when it came to it, like content, making beats, and being a podcaster and stuff like that. Yeah, being having to go in a room full of people and you don't know them, and selling your beats and stuff like that just got me out of my shell naturally. Got you.
Now, another question, of course, going to college is something that opens the horizon for a lot of people. How was your experience?
My experience was it was awesome, honestly.
Did you pledge?
I didn't pledge.
Okay.
So I had a different experience, especially at Bama, with a very Greek-heavy university, especially for African Americans. You know what I'm saying? So to be in University of Alabama and be like a person that people know of, but not to be in Greeks was different, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
And people mostly knew me from basketball. So then once I wasn't playing basketball anymore, it was like that was definitely an option, or definitely something that was brought up. Like, hey, you want to pledge? You want to think about pledging? Hell, even my dad was Alpha. So
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Even it was always just in the back of my head. The whole podcast thing happened, and that just became like our own little fraternity, honestly.
There you go.
Yeah, it became our own little fraternity.
You created your lane.
Yeah.
Right? You created your lane. And what was the name of the podcast at the time?
It was called Chris and Huddy.
Yeah.
Chris and Huddy,
that's right.
It was pretty cool. We had a controversial one. It was like some lady had said something very racist at the time on the campus, and we just talked about it, and I remember it was like the campus knew about it.
And this is Alabama, right?
This is Alabama.
Yeah.
So we really sparked the campus, and I remember like I remember going to campus like trying to go through school, like, you know what I'm saying, peeking, like seeing who's plotting on me and stuff. But no, I remember it was pretty funny though, like just like the impact that made.
Right.
We got B Simone, she's a comedian, and artist and philanthropist and all this type of stuff. So we got her on the podcast. We got Xavier McKinney. He's a dope safety with the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So he was at Bama, and I went to high school with him. So I just simply just got him. Hey, just come on the show with us. So Brielle Bierman from Don't Be Tardy. Her mother was a housewife of Atlanta. Like the very first season. So we had some cool people on there.
There you go. Yeah, because I mean that's what it is all about. It's about using the energy or the opportunity that you have, which is that human currency, right? To create something that can benefit not only yourself but primarily others, right?
Exactly.
So that in the process you also benefit from it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And today, of course, you are now an entrepreneur, right? A man who's looking into different streams of income. So we're gonna go ahead and go into this quick break, and when we get back, let's get in deep. Excuse me. Let me enunciate my words. Let's get in deep into the multi streams of income that you got going on and how other people can also go about getting that going on.
Yes, sir.
All right. So for those of you that just joined us, this is Toni Frio, the man that has the brand that is
Rody Collections.
Yes, right here in the building on Diaspora Central Spotlight. We'll be right back.
Hey, what time? Thinking as I'm yawning, just another sunny day in California. I got my mind focused on the things that follow.
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you're now tuned into the Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles, and Toni Frio of Rody Collections is in the building. It's all about brands. It's all about business. It's all about fun. It's all about ensuring that not only you enjoying it, but you making it enjoyable for other people. Toni.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the birth of Rody.
Yeah. So I would say I graduated college from Bama in 2018, and that's when the idea already started. Honestly, Rody Collections. Shout out my boy Solo. He went to Bama. He went to the same high school as me.
Okay.
So when he was a sophomore, when I was a sophomore, he was a freshman.
Okay.
So he's 1 year younger than me. And when he came in, we already had a good relationship. He built his own connections. I built my own connections, and we were just boys, like still boys right now.
Right.
But he created my logo for Rody Collections.
Okay.
So that's how that started, and just the whole idea, just being an underdog. So Rody,
right.
Also an acronym of what it is now.
Yeah.
So Renaissance of the Youth is the overall acronym, and at the time I was a lot more youthful and young.
Okay.
Now I'm 27, but it's still the same thing applies. We want to push the youth, and we want to push collaboration, and we want to push content. Yeah. Creativity and all that stuff together. So that Renaissance of the youth. Yeah. And I mean the youth is everything, man. Like youth is everything. These people nowadays are creating the craziest things, and they're gonna be pushing the future. Yeah. They push the culture and all that stuff. So that's just kind of what inspired Renaissance of the youth. Rody Collections is like everything. Collections just like everything together. Right. We wanted to include that. We're a collective, a producer collective. So that's just like how Rody Collections came about. Right. I would say over the last year or two, it's really picked up. More so over the last year. We've had performances under the Rody brand. We went to New York. Right. We had a pop-up shop in New York and everything. We had artists that came out and represented the brand and all that stuff. Yeah. We've had our own events, our own brunches where we've came out and hosted things. So I would say the brand now is being a lot more recognized as a producer trio.
Okay.
You know, because at one point, it was more so, it's kind of like my idea that I started, but now it's like I have 2 dedicated people who are bought in completely. That just happened naturally just through relationships.
Yeah.
And it just happened at the right time where I just asked them, hey, you want to be on board?
Right.
And it was more so like, it wasn't really me even asking them. It was just like, it kind of just happened where we just
Right.
working all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, we have to formulate something.
Got you. Now, so you guys, of course, have plenty going on. Some of the things that you would consider to be the main things of the brand, the bread, in other words, the bread and butter of the brand, what would those things be?
The biggest thing I would say is live events and music production.
Okay.
And then DJing, so mix that with live events.
Okay.
So our whole goal is to create a vibe and create an event. We had an Infused Brunch, which is our debut pretty much mixtape amongst all of us as a collective.
Okay.
We had an Infused Brunch listening party. So we had people come out and we had a brunch. We hosted it. People had a good time.
All right.
You know, had mimosas, blah, 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 all that stuff. And
There you
then, you know, I was playing with the DJ. You
Okay.
know, and then Jay Garcia was playing the guitar. We kind of just meshed it up. And it was just a really good time. And then
Right.
from there, that actually opened up gigs from there in November to more DJing gigs.
Got you.
And more live performances on Twitch. So now
Yeah.
we use our Twitch platform, which we have partners called All Day Gaming.
Right.
And we just do live beat cook-ups and, you know what I'm saying, interviews where we
Yeah.
interview different artists on there.
Got you.
While our main host,
Yeah.
Stan, he's playing a video game.
Okay.
So he's interviewing them. So it's almost like that the Hot Ones, you know, podcast interview.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
someone, they got to eat the wings and
Right.
focus on the questions.
Right.
It's almost the same concept with
Yeah.
video games.
Got you. Listen, the most important thing is to stay positive, do positive things, create your own lane when there's not a lane that you can follow, and support the lanes that you can support, because at the end of the day, no one can do it alone, right? Now,
True.
if there is any advice that you would like to give a young person who's up and coming, what would that advice be?
Man, I want to piggyback what you just said. Honestly, that was one of the best points that if I could take that 4 years ago and just run with that, I would have been a lot more in a better mindset going like until now.
Right.
It would have clicked earlier. Is pretty much what I'm saying. Like now I have a really good mindset, but it wasn't always just you know, roses and dandelions getting here.
Well, that's part of growing up, though.
It's still not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's still not. There's still a lot of growing. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of things to grow on, and you know, growth is important. But I would say in general, just sticking with it and creating your own lane.
Yeah.
I would say sticking with it and creating your own lane, because especially with DJing, it was hard for me to break into DJing, but because we threw our own events, and I realized that I was practicing DJing. Shout out to DiBiase, my mentor, who actually he was a tour DJ for Big Crit, and he actually taught me how to DJ.
Right.
So the only experience I had was literally him standing in front of me, grilling me, and just being honest with me, because he has experience. He's done it at a big stage.
Yeah.
So I knew if I could learn from somebody like one of the best, then I would be good.
Right.
But I didn't have experience outside of just like, you know, the kitchen.
Got you.
At one
Well,
point.
but you know that, to be honest with you, normally DJing, that's the way it goes, because you got to remember that back in the day, you probably would have been the roadie, right? Carrying his crates with the records, right? And that's how you would learn, because
That's very true.
Right, on downtime, then he's kind of giving you a few tips. He's letting you touch the wheels of steel, right? You're putting on a couple of records, and luckily, you know, you flip one of the A sides into a B side, and all of a sudden you discover this big hit, right? And then you put it on, and next thing you know, you on. So today, since things are done virtually, they just done in a different way, but it still takes someone to mentor you into becoming
100%.
great, right? Everyone needs a coach,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because we all need God, regardless of what it is. Yeah.
100%.
Any shout outs that you would like to give?
Yeah, so I would say definitely DiBiase. I would say for sure DJ Burn One in Atlanta. He's a producer and DJ. DiBiase, they actually have a relationship. They actually know each other. So it's crazy that works. Like two mentors that I really, you know, that have a relationship already.
Yeah.
I would say those two guys for sure have been pivotal within me as, you know, as a producer. Yeah, and then also I'll also say shout out to Be Someone as well, Zima. Be Someone, the brand. They also really helped me also like feel included within like something bigger than myself when it comes to DJing, because they have like they have an intricate network of DJs and all type of content creators, and I've just been like linked up with them for the last like few months,
Got
3
you.
or 4 months, honestly, and it's been awesome. They have a happy hour every Wednesday. Well, every Wednesday, once out of the month actually. They have a happy hour mixer, and I mean that's just been awesome.
Do you know what the location is for the happy hour mixer?
It's actually the Sound Vibe Connections.
Okay, it's Sound Vibe Connections. Yes,
Sound Vibe Connections. That's where it's at. Every month.
Yep.
One Wednesday out of the month, they have a happy hour mixer. So DJs, they are opening up for, they're opening up for DJs, upcoming DJs, veterans, you name it. There's some guys in there that I'm like, whoa.
Indeed. Yeah, man, that's right near the Heights. So I guess they call the Heights that section still. I know that it's off of what's that, 45 North, so North Freeway, I believe.
It's close though. It's close. Not bad. It's not too far.
No, it's right off of North Freeway. Every Wednesday there's something going on there, and just plenty. Search the web, look for it.
Yeah. Shout out Major too. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to shout out Major Williams too as well. Right. I came last time I was behind the scenes for his podcast interview. And he was the one who connected me really to the Sound Vibe.
Right, and that's the accolade that I actually wanted to give you, and I probably should do it now, because everyone needs a coach or a mentor, because that facilitates things. And one of the things that I appreciated you the first time, when I met you, was the fact that you were actually in to support someone else who was the person playing the role. He was actually here for that interview, and today you are also here for an interview on your own position. So supporting others does not always necessarily mean that you are under that individual. No, it's just you giving that person support, right? That's how we come up. We can't come up if we don't support each other to come up. And for that, I appreciate you, young man, for coming through, right?
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, man. Best wishes with the brands, and keep on doing what you're doing. Keep teaching those kids out the hoop, right? Keep them healthy, physically healthy. You have had experiences, but I'm glad that you have actually came out of that, and don't ever feel bad, because trust me, I had somewhat of a similar experience. I also thought that soccer was going to be my way out.
Thank you, man.
Broke my foot, and I had to figure life out around that.
It's not easy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But you got it, though. Look
Indeed.
At you now.
Oh, yeah. You always, because at the end of the day, you got to remember that if it is not this, it's got to be something else. And you got to have the heart to look for what that something else is. So the moral of the story is never give up. And if you're going to give up, don't do it on yourself. Till next time, peace.